Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Saurabh. Today we are learning about interrupt structure. So, what is an interrupt? First, a signal that temporarily stops CPU execution. Second, alter the CPU that an event needed immediately attends. Third, CPU save current task, handles interrupt, resume task. Fourth, improve efficiency and responsiveness of the system. Next, why interrupts are needed? First, it allows CPU to respond to hardware or software event. Second, prevents CPU from waiting ideally, means no busy waiting. Third, handle error, input output required, timer, system call. Fourth, enable multitasking real-time processor. Type of interrupt. Basically, there are two type of interrupt. First, hardware interrupts. Second, software interrupt. In hardware interrupt generated by external device like keyboard, mouse, disk, and network. For example, input output output completion device required. In software interrupt generated by program or OS operating system. For example, system call error exception. Next, interrupt structure component. First component, interrupt required. In short, IRQ, line pathway for device to send interrupt signal. It is basically used to send the signal to the CPU to interrupt. Second, interrupt controller, manager and prioritize interrupt. Third, interrupt vector table, in short IVT, store addresses of interrupt service routine. Fourth, interrupt service routine, in short ISR, code interrupt, handles the interrupt. Interrupt handling step. First, device generated interrupt. CPU stop executing current instruction. Third, CPU save current state, register or PC. Fourth, CPU identify interrupt type, execute the corresponding ISR. ISR. Fifth, restore saved state. Sixth, and the last, resume previous in program. This is all about how to handle interrupt. Next, interrupt vector table. In short, we say IVT. First, a table storing starting addressing of all ISR. ISR means interrupt service routine. Second, it is also called interrupt descriptor table IDT in modern CPUs. It helps CPU quickly find the correct ISR. Fourth, provide fast structure interrupt response. This is all about IVT, interrupt vector table. Priority and masking of interrupt. First, prioritize. Ensure high importance interrupt are handled first. For example, timer interrupt, keyboard interrupt. Masking. CPU temporarily disable some interrupt. Second, ensure critical tasks are not disturbed. Advantage and disadvantage of interrupt structure. First, advantage. Faster response to events. Efficient CPU utilization. Support multitasking. Handling essential event. Disadvantage. Complex hardware support required. Second, too, too many interrupts overhead. Third, im- improper handling may cause system crash. This is all about advantage and disadvantage of interrupt structure. After that, conclusion of this PPT based on interrupt structure. First, interrupts are essentially for efficient CPU and OS operating system operation. Second, allow the system to respond quickly to internal or external events. Support multitasking, input-output handling and real-time processing. Well-designed interrupt structure improve system performance. This is all about conclusion of interrupt structure. Thank you.